Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another board game related video. And now we're taking a look at yet another expansion for Resident Evil 2, the board game. The SteamForged game published survival horror. It was done in a licensing agreement with Capcom. And as it's an expansion, as ever, it's got this notification here showing that the core Resident Evil 2, the board game, is required. And as ever, that's also reiterated on all except one of the sides of the box. So if we look on the bottom, there's no preview images of what's in it, but that's... And there's another reminder that you need the core game. And there's a little bit of blurb. Other than that, let's have a look in the expansion box itself. So we've got another set of floor tiles, and luckily the door tile on this is quite bright, so which is good, because you may remember in my overview video of the core game, which had a lot of door tiles in, I thought that the wooden doors in particular were a bit on the dark side, but it's a shame they weren't done as clearly and vibrantly as the door tile here, because you can very clearly see the closed and open side, whereas in the core game it's a little bit dark. You also got another staircase one. Strangely enough, there doesn't seem to be a corresponding second one of the other colour. Remember, staircases normally have a second staircase tile which is of the same colour, so you know which staircase is leading to which other staircase on the map, especially if there's more than one set of staircases, to make it clear as to where each staircase leads to. And here's the rules booklet for the Giant Alligator expansion. As ever, there's an overview of the contents and how bosses with an ungainly bulk move, and how they do collision attacks, which is handy for anyone who's not got any of the other expansions for Resident Evil 2, the board game. And as ever, the campaigns included in this can either be played as part of a campaign, or you can play them on their own, just like you can with any other campaign scenario in the game, with or without other expansions. But it says here how to include them as the campaign, and it's very clear where they go. So here's one of the campaign maps. You can clearly see here is where the giant alligator will be in this particular scenario. And that's quite brutal, because with multiple players, at least one of the players has to start at point 2. And starting point 1 is right here. And as ever, there's the yellow and amber areas, and what you have to roll when you first enter such areas, and that's what happens depending on what you roll on the black die included in the core game. And one thing I forgot to mention when I was going through is that sometimes you'll see this symbol on against a scenario. What that means is if you are a solo player, you've got to be controlling 2 characters. If you don't see this symbol, then the scenario in question can be done literally just as 1 character. But if you see this symbol, you've got to control 2 characters in the game. So in this one, you would have to control 1 character starting there and 1 character starting there, and control them as if you were controlling 2, as if it were a regular 2-player. And here's the other scenario in this particular expansion. Again, it's clear where the giant alligator starts. It's on a similar ring shape to the other one. That too has this same symbol, so you would a solo player would have to control 2 characters. And you'll notice that it calls this scenario brief 5A plus and scenario brief 12B plus, and that's actually explained in that bit of the campaign mode on that page I showed a few moments ago. 5A plus is played immediately after finishing scenario 5A from the core game, and similarly 12B plus is played immediately after 12B from the scenario in the core game. What's left to look at now are the actual bits and bobs. So you've got some additional little cards here. So you've got sewer manager's key, bowgun bolts, shotgun shells, and another double-sided locked door thing. So there's the sewer manager's key that's required if you've got the escape hatch locked door, and that's an item A. So as it's an item A, there's no telling when you're going to actually get that. And 2 item B cards, which are just shotgun shells and bowgun bolts. And the diamond key is something that's in the core game, so there doesn't need to be a diamond key card in this expansion. Those, and here we've got some more larger cards, and as you can see we've got some additional tension cards, as you can tell by the telltale door card decoration. So a couple of condition yellow ones and a couple of condition red ones, and as with other expansions, you can tell which ones are for the expansion, because the ones from this giant alligator expansion have in the bottom right corner RE2:GTR, presumably for gator. So the ones that say RE2:GTR from this expansion. So you've got those 4 additional tension cards, and got a giant alligator information card. And a whole bunch of giant alligator boss behavior cards. At the time of recording this video, I've not tried the giant alligator expansion in any capacity, but the fact that it's possible to just try the scenarios from it in isolation means that it's not particularly difficult to actually just, for example, get the core game and just use this just to solely to do those 2 scenarios included in this expansion that I showed you a few moments ago. And the only thing left to show is the giant alligator itself. And as you can see, it's quite a biggie and quite detailed too. And just to give you an idea of how big it is, I'm just going to put it on the floor tiles. As you can see, whereas a regular human player character or smaller enemies like a zombie or zombie dog would only have a base big enough to cover a quarter of a floor tile square, the giant alligator covers four floor tile squares in a 2x2 grid. So quite a big beast. And that concludes my overview of the giant alligator expansion. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Hope to catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.